Well, good evening, everybody. Let's see here. We have Gary Spikes. We have Anna D. Welcome. And then we have Gene Hudson. Hello there. Penny Van. Welcome, welcome. So, Kelly Joe, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was nice and quiet, and I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Welcome, Ron Barber and everybody. Yeah, so mine, Eric Thompson, welcome. Very interesting. Mine was great, so I cannot complain. I took some time off, and I was like, got a lot of messages. Like, what are you doing? I was like, I need a little time too, right?
Yes, you deserve it. You have a life too.
But I'll tell you this much. A lot of people were like, your shows are our lives, and we look forward to seeing them. And that was like, wow. So that kind of made me feel good, right?
Very good.
So, but yeah, and and I tell people if you send me a message, I'm very easy. Welcome, Luna and Carol. All you got to do is send me a message on Facebook or email, and just Judy, hello. Just bear with me if I don't answer right away. I get a lot of messages, ladies and gentlemen, but I do respond. So, what are we doing tonight, Kelly Joe?
We're going to do gratitude, attitude, and side dishes.
Oh, okay. At least I got the front row seat for this one.
Because it's Thanksgiving. So I thought, gratitude, be thankful for what you have and don't dwell on what you don't. And then attitude, like, have you ever had a day where you were just all ornery and then things just go downhill from there?
She said ornery. Yes, I have many days like that, believe it or not. And what's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, is that like people like Kelly Joe just knocks the snot out of me, because when I'm having those days, they will actually reach out to me and tell me it's okay, or what's wrong. What are you doing? And it's just like, golly, can I have just a second? I'm behind on doing ads, promos, advertisings, and putting shows together. But it's amazing. And I tell people that never. Oh, one of my speakers just fell. One of my it scared the dickens out of me. But I tell people, when you deal with people with abilities, you got to have a pure mind, right? So when you meet with them, don't be thinking about bad things, because sometimes be like, why are you thinking that? And it's just like, dang on. So
we don't mean to do that.
No, you don't. But I try to prep people, and it's wild because on one show we had somebody ask a question, and I ain't gonna say who it was, but they're like, "You're gonna have a baby," and I was like, and they're like, "What?" And you know that the fruit was bearing. It did bear fruit.
Oh,
What I'm
wow.
saying was is that the person ended up getting pregnant.
Wow.
And I don't know the backstory about it, but when you ask people questions, on the show, ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Joe or whoever else, about stuff, be prepared because the truth will come out.
And
Now,
sometimes you won't like what we tell you, you know?
yes, yeah. What was funny is that Peter, Peter, he just rambles, right? Because his information comes so fast, like yours does. And I would have to tell Peter on the side, Peter, you got to be careful. I mean, some of that stuff's private. He's like, but they're asking, what am I supposed to do? She's like, oh, wait a minute, it's private time. We're going to talk about this on the side. I'm like, yeah. I mean, because some people don't realize when they ask questions, right?
Right.
Uh, like you said, they don't want to hear the truth. And it's like, oh, and I'm trying to keep a straight face because I see and feel their energy on the other side going, but you all can't see it or feel it, right? So,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
we feel how but
yeah,
when we're in the zone, it we try to be tactful.
right.
Like the way I do it is I always say a prayer, is this person ready to hear this? And but sometimes it comes out very blunt. And people don't like bluntness. And it seems sometimes they think it's harmful and mean. And
Yes.
we aren't doing that either.
And see, Eric right now is shaking his head yes and laughing, looking over at Rita. Now, only reason I know that because I saw images, and now Eric's shaking his head and laughing. And Eric can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but it's just stuff like that happens, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying, be careful what you ask. So, because when she opens up the forum for later on and you do want to know stuff and whatever comes to her comes, I can't control it. Hey, Overbuilt, welcome. God bless you too. You haven't missed anything yet. I'm just prepping people so when they start asking questions, they don't get the shock for their life like somebody else did on one show. And I still see, look, what did Eric say? You're always right, Grizz. So, and it's weird because both of them were laughing right now. I'd see, look,
Yep,
and
Rita's laughing.
yeah, and I see them doing it right now, and it's awful, but it's funny. But yes, but no, that's a very good topic. It really is.
And you know, if you like I've said this before, to help your brain do better, you write down something you're grateful for in the beginning of the day. And that'll help change the energy.
Yeah, I think you do a show on manifestation.
Yes, yes.
So, and
But
that
it
was one of
also,
the key things.
yeah, but it also coincides with gratefulness. It helps change your brain. And you got to do it takes 9 days to make a habit and takes um, 90 days to change one.
That's about right. Yeah, that is about right.
That's psychology, and I am not a psychologist.
Yeah, that brings back memories. Because when I took psychology, I had to have a talk with the professor because I was like, wait a minute, what about the ones that actually hear voices and see things? He was like, take the class. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Some people don't need to be medicated. Take the class. And I was just like, but take the class. And I was like, okay, I got it. I took the class. But it was hard because that was my obstacle because, we had to take a subject or a person and we had to medically identify a symptom, then look at medicine to prescribe, right, to help
Right,
with their disorder or whatnot. And a lot of things I had a problem with that barriers because I think people that don't know they have the abilities or the awakening or the door opening, it's not widely accepted. And people are like, oh, the screws coming loose. We're going to medicate.
Right.
And I think that's just the wrong thing. But and I had a rough time with psychology in the beginning when I took it because of that issue. So, but I
I,
do believe in what you say though.
well, but, some people, like schizophrenics, they hear voices. But
Right.
it isn't like they are hearing voices because they have a chemical imbalance. It isn't psychic abilities. It's like they really, really, really,
No, you're right, right.
no.
So I had
And
somebody that came to me, Kelly, and this is a good example. They needed some I want to say this professionally. So when people come to me for help, okay, I'm not a doctor,
right,
okay, and I say that. I do not identify, prescribe, diagnose or anything.
right,
I don't do that. But there's a fine line between mental health and spiritual and other things.
right,
So there are certain questions I must ask, and sometimes they may seem invasive, but it's private. I don't do it on the air, right? It's over the phone or
I
through
get it.
message, right? But we have to, hello, Sharon, we have to ask those questions because sometimes I would say, unfortunately, there's nothing that I can do to help, but I would seek medical advice. And some people get offended by that. It's not to offend anybody,
Right.
right? It's not. It's just, I'm not a doctor. But when
Well,
it comes to spiritual health and other things, then yes, then I can, somebody asked for uh, help with protection. Now, I'm not a witch, so I don't have spells,
right,
but I do have books on prayers that work very well. And I know they work well because I've used them over the years.
right.
And I gave them a whole bunch of special prayers, and they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this existed. Well, you ask, you shall receive. But I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been to Kelly lots of time and asked her questions, and sometimes I thought she was like, right, but it always came forward and happened. And I used the example when I was going to move, how I was going to move, where I was going to move, and go see a dentist when I got there. I laughed. I'm like, I don't know, but I had to, and that was like 5, 6 months after. Down at the lake playing the taps. I never forget when she told me that. I was like, girl, if you know my medical condition, I am not tap dancing. And she was trying, and I kept cutting her off. Then she just like told me basically to shut up, let me finish. But it is fun. But anything you say, Kelly, I hold dear to my heart because it's always came true. And when people like you talk about writing things down, hopefully people listen because, you talk with sincerity and experience. And a lot of people like me love it. Yes, Anna D seeking. Absolutely. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So, hey, Lady Wolf, welcome.
Hi, Lady Wolf. Haven't seen you in a long
I
time.
know. So, yeah. But this is a good topic. I'm glad you picked this one.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, it's normal to be upset. You can't negate being upset. Like, say you're going through like an accident or health issues or financial problems. It's okay to feel down and glum and be upset about it,
Right.
you know, but you have to find hope. You know, there's always
Yes,
hope.
absolutely.
Like allow yourself a time period to feel icky and then set a timer and then go along. Because we're human beings. We aren't sitting on a pink cloud contemplating our navel.
Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah.
And you got to have an empathy for yourself too. Like bad self-talk and being mean to yourself. I'll tell people, be kind to yourself. You live in there. if you talk to somebody as bad as you talk to yourself, you wouldn't be that. If they talk to you like you talk to yourself, you wouldn't have that friend anymore. So be
Yes.
a friend to yourself.
That goes a long ways.
You
That
know,
is the truth. Yeah.
and yeah, life can be hard. And I always tell people when you're like really bummed out, go talk to somebody that in a nursing home that still has their marbles. And they'll tell you they've had the good, the ugly, the beautiful, and the mundane.
Yes.
And we all go through cycles and ups and downs. And then lots of people believe that there can be generational curses, but I don't believe in curses. People say, I'm having bad luck, I'm having a horrible time. Do I have a curse? No. You're just going through a hard time.
That is correct. Now, if you really do believe that you have a generational curse, see me on the sideline. I got a special prayer for that, which is I'm being realistic. I do. And somebody found that out today when I sent them a list of prayers. Hey, Liana, welcome to the show. And that's true. A lot of people self destruct.
Right. And sometimes I guess it's like lineages stuff, but like there's a prayer that I'll say, like, ask that you have things ended past, present, and future. You know, that encompasses the whole thing. I don't believe in taking forever to get rid of anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
you
That
know, I
that is
and then
true.
people inging. The inging is a craw in my wherever, because ing, you never complete anything. You're inging forever, processing, doing, thinking, trying. You
Yes.
have to do it. Does that
That
make
is true.
sense?
Yeah, it does to me.
I'll say no inging. you
Yes.
know and be careful of your words, because words manifest.
That is a
Like,
very good
oh,
point.
like, for instance, oh, this will be the death of me. Well, universe always picks up original thought. You're manifesting it, by goodness, by gosh. Think of your words.
And they taught us that in law enforcement. There has been a lot of officers live that has been non-fatal when it comes to injuries, shooting, stabbings, whatnot. But they thought they were going to die, and I hate to say it this way, but they actually caused worse. How would you say that? By
When,
thinking that way, their mentality, it actually happened. And the
right,
doctors were like, they should have survived this. We don't know why, because he
right.
was screaming, I'm going to die. I'm dying. I'm dying. And it was just not that bad of a, wound, but they taught us never, ever to give up during a fight.
Oh
And,
dear.
and they instilled that into us because of that reason about officers being involved in injuries and thinking the worst, and the worst did happen. And the doctors were like, they should have lived through this, and they
Well,
didn't.
sometimes, like, look at your family. Like, um, men do this a lot. No offense against the men folk. Well, my dad died at 52, and I'm afraid I'm going to die at 52.
Right. Yes.
Well, if you keep putting that out there, you can manifest it. Or so and so got cancer. I know I'm getting cancer. Well, just call it to you.
Right. And there have been people that had illnesses that were not able to be cured, but the people manifest their own cure and got out of whatever stage cancer or illness
Yes,
that they had because they
yes,
thought positively. They
right,
changed their eating habits, and the doctors are like, it's a miracle.
right.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with their mental as well.
Mental is 99.9% of everything. I mean, look
So,
at prisoners. look how prisoners, the image being outside the field, you know, and have a good mindset. They do better with survival than the others. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah, it really does. So that's a good point.
You know, but you know, if people are mentally ill and they need their medicine, um, that it's helpful, but sometimes they don't like taking it because it makes them feel fuzzy, they say.
Right.
And then they have episodes.
That is correct. Yes, absolutely.
You know, but then people that are mentally ill, sometimes that's why they self medicate too, you know, drugs and alcohol, because
Yes.
it helps. They don't want to feel the feelings and they numb themselves out. So they don't feel the pain.
That is correct.
Now we're going to talk about happier things.
Yes. All right.
But yeah, with the right attitude, you can heal yourself and and you can have a happier life. You know,
Right.
what is you guys' favorite side dish? You guys share it in the comments.
Side dish. You talking like eating?
Eating, yes.
Oh, that's hard. I might say mac and cheese or something. Not awful.
Well, that's fine. And for Thanksgiving, I love the candied yams and the um, stuffing, stage stuffing.
Oh, candy yams with the extra marshmallow.
Yep, marshmallows,
Mm.
little brown sugar, and sometimes I throw pineapple in mine.
Ah, that's interesting. Eric says my mom's stuffing. Jean says mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh, that's
And
yummy.
Cass says rum balls.
They're good
Are you
too.
talking rim balls?
Rum balls. You pour the
Oh, rum. Alcohol
rum.
ball. Yes, my
Yeah,
grandmother used to make those.
make you drunker than a skunk.
Liliana, if you're having coconut shrimp or breaded shrimp, I'm coming over. That sounds
Yum.
good. Sweet potato casserole with marshmallow. See, Carol.
Yep.
Butterscotch pie. Oh, that
Oh,
sounds
I
good.
haven't had that in years.
Candy yams, yes. Grandma stuffing, which I learned to make. Oh, interesting, ladies' wool. Kathy A stuffing. No, cat's like rum. Like Captain Morgan's.
Right, rum balls.
Turkey and gravy with corn tater. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't eat. Yum. I know, Liana, right? That's what I say, Cat. I'm eating some Reese's peanut butter cups, Grizzly. LOL. Just thought I would check in. She has the most interesting chocolate habits. So I know that she loves chocolates, ladies and gentlemen. So you know how to spoil Crystal
Yeah, there you
chocolates.
go. Yep,
Pineapple upside down
yep.
cake. Wow.
That's a good
Yes.
one.
That is good. Yeah, Kat says I'm starving. I know.
And another thing that I like is brown gravy over French fries. That's real yummy.
I never had that.
Yeah, you just put French fries on a plate and some little bit of brown gravy, and you eat it with a fork, and it's yummy. And
I
you got
was
to have whipped cream with the pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah.
And then cherry pie is my fave.
I like cherry and blueberry. I like my blueberries. But pancakes and crepes, yes. Mashed potatoes with sauteed onions. Oh, now we're talking. Oh, I got some chocolate from England, Eric says.
Yum.
Penny Van Pudding.
I don't know what that is.
Pudding. And like chocolate pudding.
Oh,
Puddin.
pudding. Okay, I get it.
Pudding, yes. So Brian LeMay. Whoa, yes. Now we're
Yes,
talking.
with the
I just tasted that. My sensors kicked in memory.
oh yeah, and then the nice browned meringue.
Penny Van says no. So what I'm going to do, I am going to Google what she's talking about. Let's see, because I have no idea. Now I'm curious. I'm not doing this live Googling. Last time I did that, uh, I got embarrassed what popped up on the screen. So here's what she's talking about. I never seen this before. Let's see, share my screen. So that's what it is. What is that, like French fries? And what
French
is
fries
that?
with gravy.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. I didn't know it was called that.
I didn't either. Yeah, it
What
is.
what
So,
country is that from?
so yes, interesting. Look at all the different ways to make it.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
What is that? Is that like what is that white stuff?
Noodles, maybe? I have no idea.
Cheese. Ashton and Vildie
Oh,
Quebec. I guess
cheese.
she's from Canada.
Huh.
Hmm.
There
I
you
had
go.
to. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I learned the hard way. Do not Google stuff live on the show because if you spell something wrong, you don't get what you're looking for. She said, "No, it's just gravy." So that's interesting. Overbuilt. So that was cheese on there.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I
I
thought
know
it
my
looked like
food.
that. Yeah. Leon is laughing. Yes.
And then Wisconsin has something that's yummy. They're cheese curds.
Oh,
And
yes.
they fry them. They're very good.
I do like cheese curds.
I never had them till I went there.
Yeah, cheese curds, bacon on gravy on fries.
There
Interesting.
you go.
Wow. Very interesting.
And then Standing Stone says Irish bread. I've had that.
I haven't.
And then my mom used to make homemade fruitcake, one that wasn't with liquor, and then one that had liquor. And she'd make it, the liquor one in October, keep pouring liquor on it. And by Christmas time, you eat a piece of that, you're drunk. It was funny. I heard the neighbor when I was a little kid giggling in the kitchen. I said, and so I knew mom had served her some of her fruitcake and coffee.
Wow. That's funny. That is. So I'm glad everybody, y'all really made me hungry. So yes. Irish soda bread.
Yep,
Interesting.
very yummy.
And it says there's hundreds of variations on that. Interesting.
Neat.
Yeah. Learned something new tonight. Interesting.
And then I love us acorn squash with just butter and salt and pepper.
Yes, I do too. Absolutely.
And sometimes I'll put a little bit of brown sugar in it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
And then if you got some sausage, mom used to sometimes put a tiny bit of sausage in the acorn squash in the middle with butter.
I never tried that.
That was yummy.
Yeah, I never tried that before. So, not with sausage.
Try it sometime. Just bake it and get it nice and soft, and you can scoop it all out and right to the skin.
Now, I do like making homemade sausage. Now,
That's yummy.
yeah, and a lot of people that I used to make it, I used to give it to and stuff, and they were like, "I'll never buy store-bought sausage again." So, because I make like 8 or 9 different types of them.
Yum. Mom used to have an old-fashioned grinder, and Grandpa would always give us half a pig. He would smoke it, and Mom would make the homemade sausage, and then we'd help her. The sage sausage, and then she'd make the cased kind, and then the patty
Right.
kind.
Yeah.
And she would just roll it up with foil to do the patties.
Right. Man, y'all made me hungry now.
I know I'm gonna have to eat something when we're done. It's like yum, and it's like I like turkey for Thanksgiving, and then I'll do a ham and make my own glaze for um, the ham and cook it on low overnight.
Yes. Blood sausage. I actually had that 4 or 5 years ago, and I got hooked on it, Eric.
Yeah, I tried it. I don't like it. I have a British friend. He loves it.
You gotta have a taste for it.
It isn't a taste I like. I'll try anything once.
Potato cakes are so good. Everybody's talking about
Oh
fried
yeah.
mashed potatoes.
Yep. Yummy, yummy. Little bit of flour, a little bit of onions, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, pepper, and cook them nice and brown.
Wow.
And then you can do that with uh, canned salmon and put like I love Ritz crackers in it and a couple eggs and onion and pepper and celery and then fry it up.
Wow.
That's yummy. I'm originally from Michigan, Standing Stones. I'm from Clare. Yeah, and Dad had me try head cheese. I didn't like that
Oh,
either. Blech.
no.
I made a face. I'm sorry. I stuck my tongue out.
Oh, my
And then
parents eat that.
that stinky cheese. Um,
Blue cheese?
no, it's worse. I like blue cheese. Limburger cheese. Ugh.
Oh no. Mm-mm. No, not me. So Gouda. I like Gouda cheese. Gouda's pretty good.
It's a nice mellow cheese. And you said your favorite was mac and cheese.
Yes, I like mac and cheese.
I like it too. But I don't make that for holiday. I just have it on the side. It isn't one of our things,
Right.
you know. And then mom for Christmas too, she would have like over 50 people over and mama would make homemade sawmill gravy, which, the white roux with the sausage and then
Right.
homemade biscuits. We were cutting tons of biscuits.
Yes. Absolutely.
And yeah, homemade eggnog is delicious.
I got some in the fridge, but it's not homemade.
Real eggs, real milk, real nutmeg. I have some too. I went and bought some. I get hungry for it this time. That's the only time I drink it, but
Right.
my mom would make biscuits to die for too. She'd just, roll it out, stick a piece of foil on the counter, roll it all out with a rolling pin. And then we had like this, and I still have it. It's an antique. It has like a little, it's metal and it has a little arch and it's round and you just go boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And then I got a sharp one to cut meat. And then I got another one that's like a 3 wires and a handle to knead the dough.
Yes. I know, Eric. I was just thinking about that. Every show we end up talking about food somehow. Yes.
Now, I got a question for everybody. We got a little bit of time. Do you like the regular ham or spiral cut ham? Which do you guys prefer in the room?
That's an interesting question.
I like either or. And then after two, another thing that I do that my mom always did is after we have the ham, we'll make split pea soup like the third day. But right after we'll do homemade scallop potatoes,
Yes.
and bake it off, put cream and cheddar cheese and the ham and the potatoes and butter and
A lot of people saying regular ham, spiral ham, brown sugar. Yes, I like country ham too.
oh yeah, the salty stuff.
Yes,
That's good for breakfast. Yes.
yeah, Kathy A. Both, Standing Stone, spiral, Roger Blair, regular ham.
And the bone is good to make the bean soup.
Yes, ham
You
hocks.
know,
I love ham hocks.
I like the ham and then the navy bean, you know. Navy beans are hard to find now. They just have the white northern beans.
Really, I didn't pay
Yeah.
attention. Split, make split pea soup,
Yep.
or yeah,
Yep. I've done that. I have some in the freezer.
Canadian bacon. Well, I haven't.
Yep.
Yes, interesting. Only had spiral 3 times. I like to get that glazed sugar on the ends. Yes.
I like the crunchy bits.
Oh, that just made me sick, Eric. Oh, tickled pig's feet.
Oh, my dad used to eat those too and run around chasing me with it, teasing me. Ick.
Oh, that just ruined my appetite. So, Sharon, do you add ketchup to your ham and bean soup? I do. I love it. Never heard of that.
No. Have to try that sometime. But no, I don't know how that would taste. Pickled
Pickled
bologna.
bologna.
Yes, I've had that. And then fried ring bologna in the pan.
Yes, I love that.
Oh, that's so yummy. Can't, you know, can't find good bologna here anymore in Florida. We used to have all that up in Michigan.
Really?
And then mom made always made everything homemade. She made homemade bread. She made white bread, onion bread, brown bread. And then with the bologna she would put like relish and in it. And then another time she would do peppers and onions and grind it all up and do mayonnaise and do like a spread.
Interesting.
We always had good food, homemade. And it's funny, I'll never forget the first time I traded food with the kids. I mean, I was used to, when we had a sandwich, like real ham, real chicken salad, real bologna. And I get the sandwich and there's like 2 pieces of meat on it, a little bit of mayonnaise. And then it was like fake bread, like, and I remember I tasted it and I could taste all the chemicals in it. And then I'll never forget the first time I tried a Twinkie. It was awful. Because mom would make like turnovers and homemade cake, homemade frosting, and it's like the Twinkie was not good to me. It tasted like a whole bunch of chemicals.
Oh, wow.
And then the kids always wanted to trade with me, and I didn't want to trade anymore because their food wasn't yummy.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, mom would
Interesting.
make ham salad spread too. Yeah, homemade, grind the ham up. Oh, and we would has anybody had side pork?
What's
It's like
that?
really, really thick cut bacon from the best part of the pig, and it has a whole rind of it, and you can eat the rind. And it's like
No.
really thick. And it was delicious. I've never seen it since I was a kid.
Interesting.
And then I got a recipe of Grandma's brown sugar cake and butter cake, antique 1900s.
Wow.
Jean has parsnips. They're good, but they're such a pain in the butt to get all the rind off and the wax off. It rolls around. You got to cut it flat first and then get it.
Wow, interesting.
Oh, and another thing that we used to eat, we would have like 4 different kinds of meats. Dad was a welder, and he'd weld the fish farm, trout farm, and we'd have trout, and then we also would have standing rib roast.
Interesting.
Too, along with turkey and ham.
Interesting.
And has anybody had rhubarb strawberry pie? Mom used to go pick rhubarb and make rhubarb strawberry pie too.
Yes. Years. It's been years since I had one of those. So, I'm reading Rebecca. Gene, now that we're all starving, he's going to be eating after the show. I know I am.
Yep. And then somebody said, egg salad. What happened to the egg salad? I missed it. I didn't see that.
That's why I was laughing.
Oh.
So, Penny Van says that's my favorite pie, rhubarb.
Oh, yeah, it's yummy.
So, interesting. Dump cake. That's interesting, Liana.
Yeah, that's where you throw everything in. That's yummy, too. You can use any canned stuff and cake mix, and it's called a dump cake.
Interesting.
It's nice to hear somebody else knows that recipe too.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't mean to have it be all about food at the end, but that was fun.
It was. And I put up Kelly Jo's information. I'll throw it back up there. So if you want to reach out to her, where'd it go? Here. And it's right there.
And I'm available for readings, and I'm a good Christmas gift.
Oh, yes. Good point. But yeah, make sure and check her out. I'm going to have to go do something before I go on a diabetic coma now with all this food. So, but yeah, but check Kelly Jo out. And Kelly, anything else? Oh, by the way, Kelly is having a special edition Thursday with one of the shows at 10 o'clock Eastern. So tune in for that. It'll be an interesting topic.
Yeah, we're doing angels.
Yes.
And I'll be with
Justin Decker.
Justin.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to meet him and work with him. Well, I thank you, and I hope everybody has a good night.
Yeah, from coast to coast, everybody, Godspeed, and we'll see you on the next show at 9. Take care, and bye-bye.